family has desperate motives. And when good people get desperate, the knives come out.
You know something. Spill it.
I suspect foul play. No.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Did you just Google that?
I did just Google that.
You got it.
Aloha. This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man. And happy Thanksgiving, first of all. I'm surprised the movie theaters were open all day, and thus, after a nice Thanksgiving meal and lunch, I went ahead and made my way to the mall to watch a movie. And what opened up last night for the Thanksgiving holiday weekend is Knives Out. And this, as you saw from the trailers, this stars an immense cast of people, of great actors and actresses. Everybody from Daniel Craig to Jamie Lee Curtis, newcomer Anna de Arminas, also Michael Shannon, Don Johnson, who we haven't seen for years, just to name a few, and of course Chris Evans. Along with a whole host of many, many other great and wonderful actors and actresses. Well, without further ado, shock a thumbs up. It's good to see. I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down. It's junk. I don't recommend it. And for Knives Out, it is overall a shock a thumbs up. If you love mysteries, especially a little bit of, this is being touted as a comedy, but it is obviously it is more of a mystery, very much a comedic mystery, but not a I'm going to laugh my butt off the entire way. So it's far more of a mystery story with comedic elements. As one of the jokes on TV, somebody is watching Murder, She Wrote, with Angela Lansbury. And let me just quell that right now. This feels very much like a Murder, She Wrote kind of story. This is by, who's that guy? Ron Johnson, or I'm sure I'm getting that wrong. The same guy who did this last Star Wars movie. What was that? Not the Rise of Skywalker, not Force Awakens. Whatever this last one was that I gave a shock a thumbs down to. The one prior to the one coming up. See, that's how much I didn't like it. Oh, Rian Johnson. He did that Star Wars movie, this last one, the follow-up to J.J. Abrams. And pretty much he is not coming back for the Rise of Skywalker because, nobody, there's a lot of people didn't like, the last Star Wars movie, and I am one of them. And so seeing his name as the director on this story, on this movie, did not thrill me to want to go see it, nor did starring Daniel Craig as our detective to go see this movie either. I'm not a big fan of Daniel Craig. I enjoyed him as Bond for the first two movies, but found by the third he had kind of lost his stride. And I'm not really even looking forward to the next James Bond movie. But he does do a good job in this, as do all the other actors and actresses in this. The fault is not in the story, not in the comedy, when it is appropriate, and it has its jokes here and there. But again, like I say, it is more of a whodunit kind of Agatha Christie-like movie or novel. It tries a little bit to lean a little bit at times more towards the comedic side, like a Clue, but it is pretty much a straightforward whodunit murder mystery along the lines of, say the Orient Express, an Agatha Christie novel for sure. Whereas, a rich, elderly head of the household, head of the family, grandfather dies, and foul play is suspected, even though at first it appears to be a normal suicide. It is not, and thus they are able to, basically find out through Daniel Craig's detective work that everyone in the family had something to gain from their grandfathers or their fathers. Christopher Plummers, who plays the grandfather's character, had something to gain from his early demise. As we find out that there is a change that was taking place to his will that the rest of the family did not like. And that is thus the title. We find out when money is involved with families and the threat of it is taken away, that is when the knives come out. And basically there is a lot of family infighting among all of the relatives, etc., with people getting caught, unfortunately, in the middle. Good people, some bad people, but, that's essentially it. This movie is about, 2 hours, and I want to say close to 15, 20 minutes long, and honestly, it could have easily cut off 20 minutes of this movie. I mean, because it's a mystery movie, Rian Johnson, as any other mystery movie director would probably want to do, tries to, kind of muddle along, looking at the clues, say, oh, maybe this guy did it, maybe that guy did it, move over this way and that way. But ultimately, all that does is just pad the runtime and slows it down to where it could have been much, much sharper, a much more concise story, more to the point, more like an episode of TV, maybe 60 minutes, a 90-minute movie, probably would have been, maybe, probably, something along that, runtime, maybe like an hour and a half would have been much, much better for runtime and kept people more interested, more focused on the details. Or if the comedy had been punched up a little bit more to the next level, then maybe there wouldn't have been so much yawning in the theater. But myself, along with several other people in the audience, so yes, a lot of people in the audience, including myself, were yawning through a lot of the middle of the show. At about the hour length, we were like, okay, let's try to wrap this movie up already. And it still had like another hour and 15 or 20 minutes to go. And up until maybe the last 20 minutes, maybe the last half hour, it finally picked up, and it's like, okay. I'm back involved in this movie, but again, like I say, it did drag. This is perfect for streaming at home. This will be wonderful on iTunes, on Netflix. It'll definitely have a lot of legs, especially if you love mystery movies. Then this is a perfect thing to watch at home, at your leisure, where maybe you won't get bored with it so much. You can maybe fast forward a little bit, go grab a drink, come back, and not have missed any of the essential clues. But I guess if you're a hardcore murder and mystery fan, of like Angela Lansbury, the Murder, She Wrote gal, and watched all those shows, then maybe you'll, it's like, no, I wasn't bored at all during this movie. I was on my seat the whole time. It's like, well, okay, more power to you. But other than that, it is a shock of thumbs up. It's worthy of seeing for the matinee or on the discount days of $6 on Tuesday at Regal, or $7 on Tuesday at Consolidated. For Knives Out, again, fantastic starring cast of people you don't usually see together in films. A large assembly, which again kind of slows it down as people, the detective has to go through everybody's backstory and question them, and it's like, you start kind of fading off. But, again, these are all problematic of your standard mystery movie, whodunit, that if the director isn't super sharp and the story's super focused, then you're going to, run into these same kind of problems. And Rian Johnson, unfortunately, did. He does as good a job as he can, so I'm not faulting him on his directing ability. It's just the nature of the beast with these mysteries. But I do think that he could have chopped down, a little bit of the runtime by 20 minutes at least, and you'd have a more concise movie. All right, thank you so much. This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, saying Happy Thanksgiving, and go see Knives Out. Shock a thumbs up, especially, streaming later on if you want to just skip the holiday, theater rush at the malls, this crowded shopping season. You won't go wrong with it at home on Netflix or iTunes. And the kids will probably want to see Frozen anyways. All right. Thank you so much, and aloha.